Hello everyone, and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to start our journey on how to play chess. Please be sure to subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Now, let's get started. The first thing you need to know about chess is how to win. When you win a game, either your opponent resigns or you checkmate them. Before we get into all that, we first need to learn about the pieces. The first piece we're going to learn about is the pawn. The pawn is worth only 1 point and it can only move one step at a time. When it captures other pieces, it moves diagonally instead of forward or to one side. Those are the most important things you need to know about the pawn. The next piece we're going to learn about is the bishop. It's kind of like the pawn, but it moves diagonally and can move as many squares as are available. Now let's move on to the knight. The knight has a very strange way of moving. Unlike any other piece that moves either forward or diagonally, the knight moves in an L shape.
Say what?
It's usually the hardest piece to understand, especially because it can also jump over other pieces. But we'll do a video on that later. Now let's move on to our next piece, which is the rook. The rook is quite easy to understand because it only moves in straight lines, whether that's forward, backwards, to the left or the right. It moves in straight lines. Unlike the bishop, can move to any square that's not occupied already. Now there are only 2 pieces left, and the next one we're going to look at is the queen. The queen is basically the bishop and the rook combined into one super awesome piece. It can move diagonally like the bishop or in straight lines like the rook. Only one at a time, but that's way more than what any of the other pieces can do. Now let's move on to our last piece. The king.
Bruh.
The king is one of the easiest pieces to understand. It can only move one step at a time, but in every direction. Despite that, however, the king is the most valuable piece on the board by far. The king is priceless and is what holds the game together. And for that reason, it can't even be captured. We will talk about why it's priceless and why it can't be captured in the next video.